What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and today we have a new series that we're starting for you called Whiskey Wars. This is going to be King of the Wheated. We've got Maker's Mark versus Weller. We've got Beam versus Buffalo Trace, American Spirits versus Sazerac, and we're going to see in a three-part series Makers versus Special Reserve, Antique 107 versus the Cask Strength, 46 Cask Strength versus the Foolproof, and who is the king of the wheated bourbons. Make sure you put in the comment section below who you think's going to win each round. Again, we have these 3 rounds that we're basing this off of. Whoever takes at least 2 is going to win the series. We poured up our first 2 blind here. Marissa put our answer key in the middle glass here. Let's get right into this. Everybody knows before we get started, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. This is going to be fun. Alright, so here we go. This is what we have. Today we're just doing Maker's Mark versus Special Reserve, 90 proof versus 90 proof. We don't know which one's which. We've got our Bourbon of the Week glass and our plain glass. We have our answer key in the middle here. We're going to find out who is actually king of the wheated. I would be very surprised if Weller doesn't win the entire series. I would also be I'm just going to make a few calls here. I'm doing this blind, so I don't know any answers. I think Maker's Mark Original takes the first one, and I think Weller takes the next 2. I think Weller Antique 107 beats Cask Strength Maker's Mark, and I think Weller Foolproof beats 46 Cask Strength from Maker's Mark. A lot of people tell me a lot of good things about 46 Cask Strength. I haven't opened it yet. We're going to open it just because I want it to breathe. The Weller Foolproof got to breathe a little bit, and same thing with the original Cask Strength. We haven't opened it, while the Antique 107 has been opened. So we will open those before we get into the judgments on those. But right now, we're going Special Reserve versus Maker's Mark, Original versus Original. The nice thing about these 2 here is they're not the hardest to find, right? So we're going to see who can win 2 out of 3, or maybe somebody takes all 3, who really knows. But Maker's Mark is always on the shelves 100% of the time here. You can find it, right? Weller Special Reserve is a little bit harder to find, but at least available. I've seen it in New Jersey a bunch of times. It's been here in Pennsylvania. It does drop on the website, but at least more readily than like a week. We have monthly drops here in Pennsylvania, so every 3rd Wednesday, quote unquote, is when they do releases. I don't know if that's going to change here in 2022. I should probably make a video just on our website alone, and maybe I'll get to that one day. Weller Special Reserve, if you're in Ohio or Texas, I have a buddy that literally takes shots of Weller Special Reserve in Texas. It's crazy just because this is what I take shots of. If I want to take a shot of something, it's normally Jack Daniels, but I don't even have any Jack Daniels Old Number 7 on me right now. Maker's Mark is an easy shot taker. If I go to a wedding, they'll normally have Maker's Mark at a wedding, and I'll do whiskey gingers, right? It's my mixer. I can't imagine mixing Weller just because I'm so stuck in this way of, oh, it's so hard to find, it's so hard to get, so I can't justify taking shots or making this a mixer, although that's probably what it deserves to be, right? At the end of the day, this is a $24 bottle versus a $30 bottle, so why am I not afraid to lose this, but I am afraid to lose this? Availability. Availability, availability, availability. The best availability is availability. I think when Buffalo Trace finishes their expansion project, Weller Special Reserve is going to make a huge comeback here, and everybody's kind of going to be able to get their hands on it. I hope. That's the goal, right? But let's get into these 2, right? I already mentioned it, $30 versus $24, 90 proof versus 90 proof. This is the bottom shelf of these lineups. Again, I think Maker's Mark takes this one. I think Buffalo Trace in general, when it comes to their lower proof products, sips light, right? It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. They sip very easily. Even like the Elmer T. Lee. I love it. It's fantastic, but it sips light, which isn't a bad thing. Some people love that flavor profile where they just want something without an ethanol kick that's still delicious. And I would agree that Weller Special Reserve is delicious. I just think it sips light. Maker's Mark, on the other hand, I haven't had either of these in a long time. I think Maker's Mark has a little bit more of a flavor profile and a little bit more of an ethanol kick. Now, we're going to see if that holds true. That's why we do these blind for this. I don't want any type of perception clouding my judgment. We took a sip of this one already. Fantastic. Delicious. I like that a lot. Let's get into the second one and see what we think. Again, I want you guys to let me know who you think's going to take each round individually. So go down below and just say you think it's Maker's Mark round 1, you think it's Antique in round 2, and you think it's 46 Cask Strength in round 3. Because I don't know. After drinking both of these right now, it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. going through it in my mind before I sat down to do this. Now, Marissa poured these up for me. She's always been fantastic. That she doesn't want to be on camera. We're in the middle of a baby no bottle crisis. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Right now, our baby will not take the bottle. She hates it. Takes about an hour and a half, about 40 minutes of crying, and then finally she eats the bottle. Any tips? I need baby tips, and I'll give you tips on bourbon. We'll exchange information. I've got throw up on my shirt. I don't care. All right, right? We're drinking bourbon. We're having a great time. This is what I look forward to at the end of the night after a long day of trying to get a baby to take a bottle. I get myself to take a little bit of a bottle too. You know what I'm saying? These two are a lot closer than I thought they were going to be. I thought I was going to drink these and I was going to be like, boom, Maker's Mark, boom, Special Reserve. This is the one that I like better. But I'm not sure. Initial thoughts, just throwing them out there, talking through this as I go. I think I like Bourbon of the Week glass better. And I think Bourbon of the Week glass is Maker's Mark. But that's just, again, because I thought that from the beginning, right? This one sips a little bit hotter, I think, than this one. But I also feel like it offers me a little bit more of a flavor profile, which is what I was talking about exactly from the beginning for Maker's Mark versus Buffalo Trace. Beam versus Buffalo Trace. Makers versus Weller. Beam versus Buffalo Trace. American Spirits, I believe. I keep saying that. Just sounds right in my head. Versus Sazerac. It's good. I like that a lot. Again, I think it has a little bit more of an ethanol kick, a little bit more of a flavor profile. This one drinks so smooth. So easy. People don't like the word smooth. Come up with your own word then. Whatever you want to call it. Because it drinks smooth. That's a great, it's a great descriptor for how a whiskey can drink. I don't know what other people want, like, what do you want me to call it? It drinks not hot? It's the same, it sounds stupid. It can drink smooth, I promise you. Don't be afraid of these bullies in bourbon world, because I know there's a lot of bourbon bullies out there who tell you that you don't know what you're talking about just because you don't use the jargon that they use. I got bullied a long time for saying stuff like smooth by these bourbon enthusiasts who are like, oh, you can't say smooth, describe it for me. It's smooth. That's I am describing it. Smooth is a descriptor. Anyway, that drinks smooth. That drinks very easy. That drinks easier than this. This has more flavor than that. So it's a preference thing, right? Which one do you want more? Do you want easy drinkability or do you want flavor? And they're not far off from either one, right? It's not like if these are both 90 proof, this one drinks like 100 and this one drinks like 80. It's like this one drinks like 90 and this one drinks like 92, or this one drinks like 85 and this one drinks like 90. They're not substantially below their proof, but they're definitely both below the proof, and one's not substantially smoother than the other, and one's not substantially better flavor-wise than the other. So it's really just a preference thing. So without knowing which either one of these are, if you like something that has a little bit more flavor, a little bit more sweetness, even a little bit more spice, which I was surprised being wheated bourbons, that's going to be this, whatever this happens to be over here. However, if you like something that's an easy drinker, you're coming home, it's 11 o'clock at night, you just got done the night shift, you're not trying to get banged up, right? You just want something easy to sip on, you want to have a glass or two while you watch the end of the fourth quarter, the beginning of the West Coast game, whatever, this is going to be your answer. This is going to be the one that you want. Both fantastic, both delicious in their own regards. It's just a matter of preference. And personally, where I'm at right now in drinking, I think a year and a half ago, I would have picked this one all day. I would have said, damn, that's easy to drink. That's smooth. Forget flavor. I just want something that I can't taste the ethanol kick on, right? And I would pick this one. Today, a year and a half later, after being involved 2 years in this bourbon world of drinking and trying and 150 proof bourbons and 80 proof bourbons and $100 bottles versus $200 bottles, I'm going to say I like this one a little bit better. I would like to sacrifice a little bit of proof. Again, it's got to be an unmeasurable difference. I will sacrifice a little bit of proof if it means I get a little bit more flavor behind my bourbon. And that's what I'm going to call here. I think I'm going to give it to the Bourbon of the Week glass. Let's take one more sip just to be sure. Again, I think it's Maker's Mark. I love when I'm wrong, though. I really do. I think it's Maker's Mark. And I think it takes Weller in this one, but I do think Weller takes the next two. But let's see. One more sip from each of these, and let's call it. That's what I'm getting. Easy to drink, little less flavor, little bit harder to drink, nothing ridiculous, little more flavor. I like the Bourbon of the Week glass better. That's the one we're going to pick. Let's see who the winner is. I'm thinking Maker's Mark. What do you guys think? The answer is... This is why we do it, folks. Weller. Bourbon of the Week glass is the Weller, the plain glass is the Maker's Mark, and that's why we do these blind. You have things in your head when you drink so many bourbons about how a whole entire lineup should be. Larceny is a great example for this. I hate Larceny small batch. Can't drink it. I'll put it in mixed drinks, old fashions, whatever. I can't drink Larceny straight up. I had Larceny A121, delicious. Maker's Mark, I didn't think I liked Maker's Mark. And maybe I'm coming to find out that I don't love it as much as I thought I did tonight compared to the Weller Special Reserve. But the Weller Special Reserve takes the cake here. 1-0 in our Whiskey Wars. 1-0 in the battle of the king of the wheated bourbons. King of the North. White Walkers. Game of Thrones references? You guys get it? No? Alright. Show ended terribly anyway. Let's hope this episode doesn't do the same. Interesting to me. Interesting that that's how it plays out. Maker's Mark is going to lose round 1. Weller Special Reserve is going to win round 1. We'll see who takes this. King of the Wheated Bourbons. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you click that like. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Always check us out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. If you want to support the channel, check us out on Patreon. And if you want to chat with me and a bunch of other people about bourbon 24/7, come join our Discord. All of those links are in the description below. Please don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly. And as always, stay healthy, stay happy, stay drinking. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you next Monday for Cask Strength versus Antique 107. Very interested to see who takes that one. Maybe I can take shots of that.